What's up, Rockstars? Ben here. Hey, I want to show you something super cool in your Google Ads so you can kind of track and measure your performance over time super easy, and then just get a handle on like some of the changes you might want to consider making in the campaigns or in the account, and that you just might want to cover with Search Kings or whoever ends up managing your Google Ads at any point. Let's just take a look at some stuff that I want you to see from my point of view. And this will be helpful. So anyway, hope everything's going well. Happy February. Let's jump in real quick. And it is cold here today. I don't know what 22 Fahrenheit is, but it's probably like negative what? My guess is it's like -5 over there. All right, here we go. Cool. So in your Google Ads account, what you want to do is just to get some performance data over time to compare and see how things are trending. Go to campaigns, and you could do this at different levels. Obviously, you could look at ad groups, keywords, but just want to give you like a top level view to start. So what I like to do is just set the date range for whatever recent period you're interested in. So obviously we just wrapped up January. So you choose last month, and I hit compare, and down here, and then you can do any custom date range or the previous year. So I always like to look at year over year, or like month over month, but especially when we got like January is the biggest advertising season of the year, we want to look at how we're doing compared to the last January. So previous year, and you'll notice the date range is up here. So Jan 2024, Jan 1 to Jan 31, and then we're comparing to Jan 1 to 31/23. Apply. All right. And then when you do that, you'll notice like the columns get these little carrots, arrows pointing left and right. Those basically expand that column to show you the data and the percentage change between the two time periods, right? So that comparison. So let's break this down. I just want to focus on like two things right now: cost and conversions. So I want to let's look at a campaign we knew. You see data for both periods. Cool. Like we can do something there. We can compare. So in this campaign, this is like the IFL top keywords campaign. I would say this is like IFL, and this is search. So this campaign right here was down in cost year over year. So we're looking January 23, we spent $4,600 on this campaign. We came down 74% and spent just under $1,200 in January of 24. And then the list offer did basically zero in January of 23 and spent $4,200 in Jan of 24. So huge like shift in where the spend happened as far as search goes. But I also want to point out, like, that's campaign level. Cool. If you scroll down a little bit, it's important to also look at account level, right? So here, if you scroll down, you can see total account. And total account, we did just under 11K in January of 23. And total account in January of 24, we spent 5,400. So we basically spent half as much January of 24 versus January of 23. You can see that percentage change minus 50%, right? Now let's scroll down. Let's like ask the questions why. Like where did the spending not happen? Because search was pretty consistent. We were actually up on search by 18% about. So we basically were flat, in my opinion. Or up almost 18%, whatever. Little bump. But down here, now Google is calling it demand gen campaigns. I would say this was like discovery, right, in 23. We spent 6,200 on demand gen campaigns, and again, I believe they're just talking about discovery. So yeah, huge reduction in spending there. And let's scroll to the right a little bit. Let's look at conversions now. So I'll click that one. And I can like have multiple of these columns expanded. It just means you got to scroll more. So if I'm on conversions now, I'm looking at total account. In Jan of 23, we did 2,572 conversions. Jan of 24, we did 467. So big drop, down 81%. When we look at search, we know we were up 15% in spend in 2024, or 18%. And so looking at search conversions, though, Jan of 23, we did 711. And this year we did 467. That's a decrease of 34%. So yeah, like we don't love that, right? We want to see like flat line or kind of increase year over year, but this is just a snapshot of what happened, right? This is so you can have a sense, a gauge of like, cool, directionally, here's where we're trending. But and then another KPI before we move on to cost per conversion, actually, demand gen campaigns, we did 1,861, right? So big chunk of our conversions was coming basically from that discovery campaign. We used to do in past years a lot of spend and conversions on display. Obviously, YouTube, we did video campaigns. We know these search leads are super like higher intent, right? More quality in terms of like intent. But yeah, it's overall like pretty big decrease this year. That's okay. Just want you guys to see like how to read this data and how to, think about performance here and like have some insights into decision making going forward. All right, cool. Cost per conversion for the account, we were up in cost per conversion in 24. So Jan of 24, we spent $11.50 to get a lead. Jan of 23, we spent $4.21. So that's up 175%. Right, almost triple. A lot of the decreased cost per conversion in 23 was definitely coming from the discovery campaign at $3.35 per conversion. Hard to beat that. Obviously, we know those are higher intent or lower intent. Those discovery campaigns, we know that those probably brought in a lot of the step 1 leads, but not the step 3 leads as much, right? As much of a rate as the search campaigns would. Anyways, search, if we just break that down, we were up 79% on our cost per conversion in Jan of 24. Kind of sucks, but it's still not horrible. I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. You can look at any metrics here and see the data over time. I just want you guys to see how to look at this view and then how to start thinking about performance over time. That was a big one. One more thing I want to leave you guys with is Google sort of gives you suggested things to improve your campaigns, and you can find those suggested changes. They call them recommendations. Just go to this recommendations tab at any given time. You can look at this score, your optimization score. Don't put too much stock into this 95% number because like you can look at these recommendations and you can basically ignore them, right? You can hit that 3 dots and hit dismiss all. And that's actually going to like add the score up, to your number up here and sort of make it look like improved. Point being, some of these recommendations you find to be not relevant for you and you can ignore them. Some of them you should consider though. This is a good one. Top recommendation for you. Add images to your ads. You'll get, this 5% bump, right? To this optimization score up here. Optimization score, cool. Whatever. I mean, maybe that means you're going to get fed more impressions, right? And eventually more traffic and conversions. So definitely like consider these recommendations when you see them. This one's easy. Add images to your ads, and they're right. Your ads are not as prominent as they could be if you added images, which can improve your CTR. And here's an example, right? Like, so your search ad here could basically have an image attached to it. Definitely help you stand out. Definitely can help with like CTR and bringing in more traffic, right? That's pretty much it. Like, you guys could probably figure out the rest from here. You can drill down in your campaigns if you want to see the performance for like specific ad groups or keywords. And this is where you could also, do some optimization and make decisions like, okay, are we kind of shitting the bed on performance for some of these keyword groups, these ad groups? Maybe we're doing really well and want to see if we can like isolate spend to some of these more, but the system is going to do that for you. So you really shouldn't need to be like turning ad groups on and off. The settings in the campaigns are targeting more conversions at a better cost per conversion. So let the algorithm do the heavy lifting and focus on the recommendations, and then just watch the performance over time and talk with your folks about what you're seeing. And that's pretty much the game. So, all right, guys, I love you all. Cool. I hope this was helpful and you guys have an amazing month. Please call me, text me, email me if you have any issues, questions, want to talk about this stuff at all. I am here for you. So, all right. Peace, rock stars.